Hello my profane friends, how are you today? Here we go with another one. This is a Masonic ritual today. Not the riding the goat. This is what happened to one of my great profane sheep friends. He was killed many decades ago in a Masonic lodge. In 1762 I think he was killed on an altar. Just so a Freemason could find out if he was a killer or a murderer or an assassin. Now people have been asking me what I look like, so I said I'll show. Right. A bit tight. So anyway, remember, always keep yourself profane, yeah? Because if you ain't profane, you could be a Mason. Then you are going to see the go to. But anyway, let's get on with today. What we got? Let's have a look. My glasses are steamed up. Where's my... There, my missus. Oh dear. It's never simple, is it? Let's take my glass off. I can't even see anything. There we go. Right. Look at this. We've got a right good session going today. I'm well happy. Right. What we got? Let's start with the waiver form, I think. Right. This is what Masons have to sign before they even do a ritual. Yeah. Because I mean, if you want to see the rituals, that's on the forum anyway. Do you know what I mean? This is the International Free and Accepted Modern Masons, including an Order of the Eastern Star. Because the guide, obviously, they in America you can get sued really rapid, like, you know. Yeah, so someone got took them to court. They weren't too pleased about it, so now they have to sign this waiver form. But the interesting thing about the waiver form is that without any coercive, persuasive, or influence on anyone's part, I'm willing to submit myself to the initiation process. Right. And that is that should I suffer in any way, physical, mentally or emotionally, international, free and accepted modern Mason, blah blah blah, are not responsible for any injury suffered by me. So that's mentally, physically or emotionally. And that's what they do. This is what Hazen does. Do you know what I mean? Because they want you they want to put you in their state of mind, if you get what I mean. You know, they want a bit, you know, they reshape your mind to think like a Mason, yeah? Because they want you as separate and apart from the profane, which is us. Now this is the ritual I'm going to tell you about today. And what it is well, what we've got here is the master. Okay, let me just enlarge that a bit just so we can get a better look at him, yeah? Let's have a look. I think that's that bald dude from the other video. But anyway, as you notice, right, what we've got here is the master, okay, and obviously there's other Freemasons in the background. Now the guy kneeling on the floor here, yeah, he's pretending he's a man, okay, and he'll be saying things like, don't kill me, pleading for his life. You know, they could be saying to the candidate, if you notice the candidate, he's blindfolded, okay, and if you look, the worshipful master has his hand and he's guiding it towards the shaven sheep's chest. Now when he touches that sheep, right, what he feels is warm blood, nipples, yeah, and he believes there's a real man on that table. If you notice also the sheep is gagged here, look, okay, so this man here is the voice and the sound effects for the sheep on the table. My poor cousin, back in, what was it I said, 1672 this was taken. But anyway, forget that. Here we go. So the sheep is gagged. The man on the left here is the voice of the sheep, yeah? So this candidate, blindfolded, believes there's a man on the table, okay? Now they might tell him he's one who's... Now before this get into this, right, I think, you know, there's obviously today I think they're shown snuff movies, do you know what I mean, and things like that, because obviously they've progressed now, you know what I mean. But what this does, yeah, and a bit in them days anyway, I don't think, you know, it was too, you know, that was a little bit more ruthless in them days, do you know what I mean, because obviously they just you know, like kids used to just get abandoned and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think people are a bit more hardship, you know, whatever. But not today, you know, in day and age, they need to know who's going to be a killer and how you're going to support the lodge. Yeah, like I said, there's always a left door and there's always a right door in masonry. The ones who go through the left door are for the surrounding of the protection of the lodge. Yeah, so you know, he'll go to a chapter that won't be, you know, deal with, you know, the nastier side of Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, there's a lodge, there's a master, like the super grand master lodges, yeah, where from every country they congregate. Do you know what I mean? All the heads of each country or county, whatever way you want to put it. Do you know what I mean? So every county in the UK, same as like the state, like in the states, yeah, they'll have their certain particular one, and they meet every year or every 3 or 4 years or whatever, and they'll go to a super lodge. Do you know what I mean? And they'll meet. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it all goes with the spider webs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So the little lodges then answer to the big lodge in that county. Do you know what I mean? And then that county, each and every county in that country then answers, you know, to the big lodge, and then the big lodge will, you know, blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Which is the Illuminati, say, own the countries. Do you know what I mean? You know, the blood royals, the families, blah blah. But they're all Freemasons. It don't matter what you call them. It's just something else to, you know. They get so many members, you got, you know, they go, oh, well, come and join us in this lodge. You know? But within each lodge, like I said, there's different chapters. Do you know what I mean? You know, and if you've got, like, you know, you could have like eight lodge, you know, 8 bad lodges, 8 bad chapters, do you know what I mean, doing all the naughty stuff around the town, while the other lodges are there and they'll swear blind, and they got the right to, because they don't see nothing corrupt or criminal going on, and they'll swear blind it's good. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if you just look up the Shriners' corruption and just read some of that, you know, I can't remember the girl who investigated them, but there's a lot on them, you know what I mean? But I'll show you through this anyway. But this is how they find their assassins, do you know what I mean? And whether he stabs that sheep, well, that human being, what he thinks is a human being, is right anyway, yeah? But if he stabs it, they know he's potentially can be a killer for the cause, do you know what I mean? Yeah, to wipe some out. Someone like JFK, or, you know, someone who's a bit of an upstart like me, you know, and a lot of the other truthers, you know, meeting with an accident, he's willing to do that, do you know what I mean? But if he don't, so it doesn't matter if he stabs it or he don't, you know what I mean? It's both right. Like there's rituals with they do with the Bible, right? You kiss the Bible or you spit on the Bible, yeah, right? Whether you spit on it or kiss the Bible tells them, you know what I mean, whether you're religious or not. Do you know what I mean? If you spit on the Bible, they know you don't give too much monkeys about God and the Bible. Do you know what I mean? So they'll steer you to the right, to a Luciferian type of thing, if you get what I mean, you know, in the dark side, yeah? But if you kiss the Bible, they go, nah, well, straight away, you know, whoever's watching, they'll go through the left door. Do you see what I mean? There's another ritual where they go in, they've got 4 Bibles on the table. I can't remember what it is. I've got it up. I'll just have a quick butch now. I can't remember offhand. This is about Hazen. Go to my Hazen forum. There's a lot more in there, like bend the knee, and all sorts of stuff like that, all the rituals. But you need to watch this video here, because that tells you what the ritual's all about. Do you know what I mean? Like what they do to indoctrinate your brain. Do you know what I mean? Well, their brain anyway. See where they refuse to spit on the Bible. What was the other one? There's something each player's Hazen game answer. I can't find it, sorry. Wait there, I hate all this pause and if you want to sound it. Right, Hazelrich kissed the Bible and the candidate spit on the Bible. And there's some other, anyway, like I said, get into this, you know, it's here anyway. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot about rituals here. This is like, you know, other rituals, what they do, and I explain that, do you know what I mean? But come to the forum and you'll find it, you know. Let's go back to here anyway, it explains this. Oop. There we go. Yeah, so we've got the master there, Master Mason, all the Master Masons, the worshipful master. He'll drag his hand onto that sheep. That candidate will wave his hand, you know, feel the sheep's heartbeat. You know, he's feeling that heartbeat. Imagine that. You know what I mean? Under his hand. And then he's directed to stab the betrayer, whoever the betrayer is, yeah? Because the guy done it, you know, they might say, you know, like he's a fucking nonce, a grass, or he's betrayed, the, you know, the cause, yeah? Do you know what I mean? And then once they've killed that, they'll do a drinking ritual, like is drink the goat's blood and things like this. Do you know what I mean? Or bob your head in for the blood. But that's their blood rituals. They don't have blood rituals. Remember that. Freemasons don't do blood rituals. But I'll show you some lies in a minute, what they tell. But that's what that is. They find an assassin there. That tells them who's willing to kill for the cause. You see what I mean? Yeah? Who is willing to kill someone else. And if you ain't, like I said, you just go through the left door and you're putting a ring of protection, do you know what I mean, in another chapter. So you begin, you know, as you're raising up through the ranks of masonry, you'll be going into each chapter or craft or whatever you want to call it. It's all masonry anyway, even if, you know, skull and bones, blah, 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 you know, Bohemian Grove, blah, blah, blah. You know, like they do the meetings upstairs, you ain't getting up up them stairs and in them meetings in the town. Do you know what I mean? Like our lodge here, you know what I mean? You ain't getting upstairs in them meetings. Do you know what I mean? No one's getting up there except the, you know, the elite. You know. But anyway, but that's what that's all about there. That's to find an assassin. Do you know what I mean? And whether he stabs it or not doesn't really matter to them, but that'll direct him whether he's gone to the left lodge or to the right lodge. Do you know what I mean? Through the left door, the right door, you know what I mean? And any particular, you know, what particular chapter he will be raised up in, you know, whether it be a ring of protection, you know, whether he's going to kill someone for the cause to stop, you know, but that's what it's about. I mean, why is this guy here a goat? Which I would call, you know, anyone you ask what a goat resembles, we all know. So, but he's been an honorary member of every lodge in the world. Leave it to me. Leave what to him? Do you see what I mean? Now, is the goats, because that's the worshipful master, yeah? Well, he's sitting there, right? He's in the master's chair, the worshipful master's chair. Are they really after Lucifer? Do you know what I mean? Is that really the Gautu who they listen to? And the man who represents the worshipful master is representing, obviously, Lucifer. But who knows? That's another story. Now I'm going to show you how they get paid. I told you in my last video they get a payment, yeah? They're not doing this for nothing, yeah? Everyone's paid. This is done in 1977, yeah? So if you adjust the wages here, I've got more books on what they get paid and what have you, but this is just a taste of what I pulled out tonight, yeah? I've got too many books, really. But I pulled this out tonight. And I didn't do it. If you want it, it's in the forum, yeah. So straight away we go here. That's the grand architect of the universe, yeah. That's that Gautu, yeah. Right. I just sort of, now some of these pages I get up and I think, oh, what have I put? And sometimes I forget. So if I do, I apologise. Like I said, I stutter a lot, blah blah. Just stick with me. Like I said, I'll try and give you the information of what I've got. Oh yeah, the Perfect Ashlar Lodge. Yeah, this is what this is. The Grand Lodge of England. To the honour of the Grand Architect and to the praise of his holy name. Yeah, so that's their God. You know what I mean? Whoever that is, you know. Right. Anyway, the Rough Ashlar. That's us, the Rough Ashlar, the profane. Again, look, here we go. Resents the man in his nature, in his natural state, ignorant. That's what we are, ignorant, because we're outside the temple. We're unpolished and vicious, like a precious diamond surrounded by the dense crust. Its beauty unseen till the rough surface is removed. Yeah, and obviously every Freemason think they're a diamond. Do you know what I mean? And they're a diamond in the rough. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So you're profane. You are to them just nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because they're perfect ashlars. They're on their journey east. Do you know what I mean? They got no respect for you. Trust me. And if you think they have, you're off your rocker. You know what I mean? Literally, you've got to learn. These are the people running your life. Do you know what I mean? This is like a perfect Ashlar. That was an Enter the Apprentice song, right? I'll leave it there for a little minute. Have a look. Like I said, great kings, dukes and lords, yeah? That's all what it's about. Great kings, dukes and lords. And they're still now, they're the landowners, yeah? And all whatever, you know, in each county, in each, I don't know, state in America. But this is what it's all about. Kings, lords, dukes, earls and all that, yeah? These are the Etonians and all that, like, you know what I mean? And then they get other people in, and they're the ring of protection for these people. You know, this is what you're running. But I'll leave that there. But like I said, you just got to read the thingy, and then it tells you. Do you know what I mean? It gives you the idea of what sort of power they have over you, the profane. Do you know what I mean? Now this here, right, is what they do. Again, I said they will stuff to each other. Yeah, they've done it for years and years and years, decades. Do you know what I mean? Look. For the last 4 years, his executive committee, the provision had been considering the possibility of building a house and flats for aged and infirm brethren and their wives and widows. It's all about the wives, the widows, looking after their self. You know what I mean? You don't come anywhere. And when they want money, like I said, they walk in a lodge, yeah. If there's 100 members in the lodge, yeah, they give them each £100. Look at the money you got. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, but you put £1,000, you know, here's £1,000. It's nothing to them. Do you know what I mean? They're all rich. They own everything anyway. But this is, I'm just letting you, and you work this out for yourselves, yeah? You know, I ain't going to read it all, yeah? But it's there. It'll go in the forum if you want it to. Do you know what I mean? See, if all lodges contribute £150 each. Now this, do you see what I mean, yeah? This was in the 1974 festival for the Royal Masonic Institute for Girls. It's fresh in our minds. We made a magnificent effort for that institution. Do you know what I mean? And this is what they do, you know. They do big contributions. And like I said, you get 100 men, put £1,000 in. There you go, innit? You know what I mean? So, but this is the money they want, yeah? So that's that. To all brethren in the province, you know what I mean? Basically in the state or in the county, or, you know what I mean, yeah? Okay? This is the money they sort of deal with. All right? Now, next picture. I'll leave that there for a minute, just in case someone will pause it. And then you can go through it at your own leisure. Right, then we've got, hello. What's happened there? I'm missing a picture somewhere. Wait a minute. What's happened there? I went from there to there. I'm missing a picture. Oh, it's here, look. Why didn't that pop up? Oh, yeah, I'll put this up next now. Sorry about that. That jumped, the picture went somewhere else. Here we go, look. This is how to contribute, yeah? And they got it all worked out. This is how they, you know, this is how they build their own special. They've got their own hospitals. They've got their own care homes for themselves when they get old. You see what I mean? It's all investments. Do you know what I mean? All their money is left to them, so they don't mind putting it in. Do you know what I mean? You know, they will everything to each other. Do you know what I mean? But look, is it, look, 500,000 is a considerable sum to raise. Blah blah blah. I'll let you guys read it and go through it yourself. Look at the numbers. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But of course, remember, the people for that province, whatever's happening, they're going to charge the state for the people to stay in that, like the homes for the bereaved, whatever they are. They're going to put their own people in there working it, yeah? And they're going to get their own bonuses, do you know what I mean? But that's also, they get paid by the lodge as well. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? So they don't only have the job at working and looking after themselves and each other, because they know later on in life they're going to get old and then they're going to be looked after by the people. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So they're always looking after each other. Do you know what I mean? While we have to go into this and that, what they set up as their government, we have to go into these other places where you get beat up and battered. Do you know what I mean? But they look after themselves, you know, and the people running the stuff, the people who get the contract for the build will be Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. And that'll be all go like all that, all preference to the brothers. Do you see what I mean? Guarantee it. Go back and check it. You know, you can go look at this. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, it's public knowledge. Do you know what I mean? I just don't investigate it. I'm just putting you the information there. You see what I mean? So anyway, let me close that down and go back to where I was, which is here. So now I'm on to here. Right. So here, right, and I'm going to show you some stuff here. Anti-Masonry, right? Has Masonry suffered from opposition, particularly in America? Now, this is unreal, man. I love it. Right. There is no country in which Masonry has ever existed in which opposition has not sprung up from time to time. However, in general, such this is unreal. However, in general, such uprisings have been overcome by the purity, innocent, integrity, and high moral and religious character of the institution. Many anti-Masonic books have been published, some of them solely for the purpose of abuse, others claiming to expose the inner workings of the order for destructive purposes, some of them slanderous in the extreme and filled with a spirit of venom. Well, that must be all me anyway, so I don't care. But the point of the matter is, right, but all of them are based largely upon ignorance, prejudice and religious and political bias, and none of them calculated to harm Freemasonry, at least with any degree of permanence, and they know that because they outnumber everyone in law and God knows what. Anti-Masonic agitation ran rampant in America from about 1824 to 1830, yeah, and I guaranteed whoever they were, half of them were bumped off by the Masons. Do you see what I mean? This is why they need their assassins. Anyway, especially in the states of New York and Pennsylvania and the New England states, it was characterized by false charges, political virulence and hypocritical vindictiveness. It was soon completely defeated, annihilated by the loving, but it was completely defeated and annihilated by liberty-loving, freedom-devoted Americans. No, what happened is you gang-stalked them, yeah, you made their life intolerable, like you did Todd, myself and many other people that are against you because they know what you're like, and that's what you do. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, you make your own minds up, okay? Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Washington's April there. You know, there's other little bits of information if you want to read it on these bits of paper. I'm just pulling up the bits I found of interest. This is actually extract out of the Masonic Bible, this is, okay? And if you want the Masonic Bible, you can read that in my forum. That's all there, full of it. The beehive, again, can you remember, see, I'll tell you about the beehive. Look, in what way is the beehive used in masonry? Among the ancients, particularly among the Egyptians, the beehive was a symbol of obedient people, right? See, so the bee them is an obedient people. You are an obedient, profane people. An emblem of systematized industry, yeah? So you're a systemized industry. Everything you do, yeah, or they get you to do, is based on that. Do you know what I mean? You are the worker bee, and like I said, they're the bloody, you know, they're the bloody captains or whatever you want to call it. Right? Cannot be found. A more appropriate picture of organised and unity labour cannot be found. Hence, Freemasonry has adopted the beehive as symbol of industry, a virtue stressed in ritual and by lectures. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, we are the workers. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones who control it, and they run it all. Do you know what I mean? And that's what, you know, this is what you're up against. Anyway, the dagger, look, what is the symbol of the dagger? In the high degrees, it emphasises a symbol of Masonic vengeance or the punishment of crime. Do you know what I mean? So I'm surprised, well, they've tried to keep, well, let's put it, I can't say too much, I don't want to say too much yet. But yeah, like I said, the vengeance side of it, they don't just stab you in the back. You know what I mean? I mean, they literally poison your life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and they'd rather you stay alive so they can keep on, you know, getting into your life and poison it. Danger, what is required of Mason when a brother is in danger? Masons are provided with a secret sign by which they are required to warn a brother when he is in danger of any kind. See, so what I tell you when I say they've got signs, and you know, and they can, these signs, yeah, they're so fast you won't even see them, yeah? And if you've got 4 or 5 Masons and you're now got to fight another Mason, you're going to have each and every one of them Masons jump on your back. Do you know what I mean? So be careful. You just watch for the Grand Howler sign, but that's the main one. But if you don't see the other signs, you're buggered. Do you know what I mean? So watch yourselves, because they will get you. You know what I mean? And they'll gang up on you, regardless of the numbers. And if they don't do it, they'll try and get other people to do it. Do you know what I mean? Pay someone, you know, bag of little gear or whatever. You know what I mean? But that's what they do. Nobility in the east. Why do they go east? Yeah, and any other cardinal point. Yeah, and this is what they go. They always travel from west to east. Yeah, and they're always in search of light. Do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to give you, you know, what they do. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through, just get you used to the, you know, what they're calling you. You know what I mean? You profane people. Yeah. What's a Cowan? Well, a Cowan is strictly Mason term, means an intruder, yeah? I mean, I'm an eavesdropper and I'm a Cowan, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? And I'm profane. Great, you know what I mean? Wonderbar. Here is the person who seeks a secret and benefits of Freemasonry in a clandestine manner, and when apprehended should be severely punished. Do you see what I mean? Severely punished, yeah? Now, what is that severe punishment? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, like I said, make your own mind up. Also, what is the length, yeah? Of oh yeah, that is there, yeah, that is, yeah, the sacred cubit is 36 inches, the profane cubit is 18 inches, right? Now I'm forgetting now, my bloody again, I didn't write any notes down. I should have written my notes down. I forget things. The sacred cubit is, I normally know this all off by heart and like boom, but it's hard when I'm talking on the screen. The sacred, search it up. Again, you can just look it up yourselves. Do you know what I mean? The sacred cubit is 36 inches. The profane cubit is 18 inches. And I can't remember why. I'm sorry. You'll have to look out for yourself. What is the eavesdropper? That's what I am. Yeah. What is the significance of this term? The name is given to a cowan or a person who sought to listen in on the secrets to which he cannot be entitled because of an earlier form of punishment. A detection cow will be forced to stand under the eaves and then you get soaked through with a downpour. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying, you know. Look that up. I can't remember the profane. That might come to me. If it do, I'll let you know. That's the one we've already seen. Right. Again, look, the use of it was to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place, the church and the world. The world is profane, right? Do you see what I mean? See, this is what they do. They're separate from you, yeah? They live in their own world, yeah? They got their own people. And all there is Freemasonry versus profane, yeah? Do you know what I mean? They're so snidey and sneaky. They do it all behind your back. You know what I mean? And they're laughing behind your back. Trust me, they're signing behind your back. And they're doing all sorts of sneaky little moves to get at you. Trust me. The church and the world. Anyway, look, the use of it was to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place, right? The church and the world is profane and lies in wickedness, right? And the men of it ought not to be admitted into the church of God and partake in holy things. A difference must be made between the precious and the vile. Do you see what I mean? You're the vile profane. They don't like you. The greater care will be taken in the latter days of the admission of members into the gospel church, yeah? And that's what it's all about. Do you see what I mean? You are the hated profane, yeah? They don't like you. Do you know what I mean? You may think, oh, they're nice there, but they ain't. Trust me, this is what they think of you. You're profane. You're outside the church, their temple, yeah? And as long as you're outside that temple, you are nothing to them. Do you know what I mean? Sneaky. Right. Now here's this is their payments, yeah. I've got loads more on their duties and, you know, but like I said, they get paid, yeah. So even if they got a job, whatever job they're doing, if they're thingy, then they're getting money, yeah. Okay. So let me have a look. This has gone back. I can't remember now. What was it again? Right, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Is it on this part? Why did I save this bit for? I can't remember. I should write some notes down, really, shouldn't I? Master of the Lodge. Badge, the collar. Okay. Oh, I don't know why, sorry. Drawing of the lodge. I forgot what yeah. The great effect payment for this duty is usually separate from other thieves. That's right, yeah. So these get paid, yeah. This was basically me trying to show you that they get paid. Everyone in the lodge get paid. Obviously, I ain't sure about the entered apprentice when they first start. But anyone who's working or, you know, an active member of the lodge, they're paid. Do you know what I mean? As the ranks. And the more higher you go, I'll show you what they get paid when they get higher. And it's silly money, I'll tell you. Anyway, regardless, that'll get me shot or stabbed in the back. But, yeah, just read that. I'll leave that there for a minute. And I can't remember that. I hope that's what I'm there. If not, when you read it, obviously that might tell you what pay for the night. Yeah, that he shall lose his pay for the night. You know what I mean? They also get fined, obviously. But yeah, anyway, oh God, wait there. Oh, my telly's telling off. Right, so now we go to foot to foot. Yeah, well, that's one of the 5 fellowships. Yeah, there's also a 12 fellowship, I think. Is it 12? Yeah, you know, whatever. Anyway, foot to foot. What is the significance of this practice? We are thereby taught that we should never halt or grow weary in the service of a brother Mason. We should be swift to extend our mercy and benevolence to all in need, but more particularly to a brother Mason. Do you see what I mean? Always more particularly to a brother Mason. Do you see what I mean? So for someone who's profane, they ain't bothered. Do you know what I mean? Remember, these are knights. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. These are not, you know, I go to Knights Templar, do you know what I mean? You know, you can call them Skull and Bones, whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're all Freemasonry. They look out for each other. Do you know what I mean? All right? Don't you forget that, ever. And they're out to get you if you're profane. Trust me. Yeah, look, here we go. Look, the breath and attendant meetings at the lodge, Dundee Arms, blah, 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 blah. The payment of the upper tiler, there's a lower, I think. Right, look, it varies from 8 to 12 guineas a year, whilst the under tiler was paid slightly less. You see what I mean? But they're all paid, yeah. Yeah, but for the tile it's only 4p each. Yeah, 2 tiles are employed at the lowest, blah, 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 but it's just about there it is. Look, and the upper tile should not be allowed 7 shillings, and under tile 5 shillings, and the assistant tiler 4 shillings for each meeting of the lodge. Yeah, I think it was a dude that used to deliver the papers or something, and he got paid. I think I've got that on here. But everyone got paid anyway. Let's put it this way: everyone in the lodge is on a wage, yeah. So while they're working in their normal jobs, yeah, they're also getting paid by the lodge, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Knife and fork degree. What is it? No, I don't know. What did I hand this? What was it? Oh yeah, Negro lodges. Look again, right? Yeah. Now what was it about that? I can't remember. Wait a minute. Negro lodge. What was the facts about the Masonic? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Masons, look at this. Look. This is what I'm on about. Military lodges. Yeah, Masons have military lodges, right? Yeah, and then military lodges, right? I mean, why would they have military lodges? I don't know. But in the British Army, do you see what I mean? They were made Masons in a military lodge in the British Army. Do you see what I mean? So lodges are not just, you see a Masonic lodge. No, it can be in anything, in anywhere, yeah. And the lodge things can be drawn on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Whatever the markings are, or the particular markings like the pentagrams, I would have thought, they're actually mopped off the floor. Do you know what I mean? That was back in the day. Whether they still do that today, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go into a lodge. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, to get into a lodge is very, very hard anyway. Like I said, you'll be tried and tested. I think I'll put it on here anyway. But again, like I said, it's like a Rubik's Cube to get into a freaking lodge. Do you know what I mean? Lodge being got the name of African Lodge. The lodge did remain. But again, read it yourself. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, at the end of the day, these lodges, yeah, don't have to be. They're having them on battleships. Do you know what I mean? They've got Masons on battleships having lodge meetings in battleships. Do you know what I mean? When you see like the SS whatever, or big, even submarines, you know what I mean, submarines, whatever, they're having lodge meetings. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing it with, through phones now and whatever. Right, symbols in ancient times left because of natural internet. No. Oh yeah, here we go. Look, now this is where I say where you can't. Now where I was going back there earlier, right? I said they can make a sign, yeah, and speak to each other, and you wouldn't even know it. Remember, they're learning this on a daily basis, right? 4 years just to be like from to get into an apprentice degree, and into the fellow craft and all that sort of stuff takes years, yeah. But what they're learning, yeah, are all the signs, the symbols. Do you know what I mean? You're not learning none of this. You don't know any of it. Well, I'm hoping you're learning a bit now, obviously. But look, is there a universal Masonic language? Not in universally understood words. Do you see what I mean? Not in universally understood words, yeah, but there are certain signs by which, for all practical purposes, Masons of various tongues may make themselves known to one another. The system of Masonic signs and symbols have been so perfected that in every language they convey the same meaning and make the same impression. Okay, now that means, like, if they say, like, there's one like they put your right hand to your left cheek, yeah, right, your right hand to your left cheek, so that outside of your hand, yeah, goes to your left cheek, bend to the left, right, and that's a sign of forget about this, but that's a sign of like horror or aghast. That's it, aghast, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's aghast, yeah. And they'll do that like that, but you wouldn't notice it. You stand in the pub, you'll see a guy do a little jig, and if you see him put like a white hanky on his shoulder, yeah, what he's asking for is other Masons to see him, and he's short of cash maybe, and they give him some money, but he'll be tried and tested before that happens. They try and test him to make sure he is a Mason before that happened anyway. But that's just a couple of signs. There's other signs, you know what I mean? That's all been done in front of me. I've seen, get a drink, put it under your nose like that, and go from left to right. Grab your hat, your cap, if you got a cap on, just go across the cap like that, from left to right, you know what I mean? Another sign. That's rather than do it across your neck, do you know what I mean? But they're doing it in other ways. That's what I'm saying. It all alludes. But the symbols and the signs, yeah, are universally the same, yeah. And the reason they're universally the same is so the same is that if we're in a profane or in a room and it's pitch black, how can you see another brother? Do you see what I mean? How would you identify a man in a room that's a Mason? You do it by, well, by the senses. That's what they do. Do you know what I mean? The touch, the feel, the step. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it takes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's very, so like I said, if you look at someone given sign language, yeah, theirs is just as complicated as that, but they know how to do it secretly. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, they do this behind your back. They can do it in front of you and you wouldn't see it. Do you know what I mean? And they'll, you know, obviously signal to each other, dum dum dum, and that's how they get you. You know. The neighbour, of course, we've got neighbours in friendship. How locus Mason may be in the natural friendship of and confidence of neighbourly intercourse, he must be reserved in all that relates to the historic concerns of masonry. See what I mean? So they're always cautious. Do you know what I mean? And they're never fully, like, you know, just like, you know, you meet someone, yeah, you'll talk to them and, you know, be polite, nice, whatever. Freemasons ain't. They're looking at you as profane, yeah, and they never open up to you or, you know, be truthful. Do you know what I mean? They just look at you as a profane outside the temple. What was it? You know, whatever them words they use. You know what I mean? I saw my head's gone. But anyway, kind ladies, anyway, kind men, have a great day. Here we go. A Masonic's wife and daughter, right? Now, is there a degree by this name? Yes. Right, a degree conferred upon the wives, the daughters, the sisters and mothers of Master Masons to secure to them by investing them with a peculiar mode of recognition. Right, they get that. Do you see what I mean? Their wives, their daughters, the blah blah blah, have their own code, even though they're not Masons, have their own mode of recognition, right? The aid and assistance of the fraternity or an individual in times of distress. So if you're out and about and you're in a pub and you get into a fight or an argument with any woman or girl, whatever, yeah, and she gives that sign, every Mason in that pub or club or wherever you may be will stick up and defend that person. And if you've got someone who's got a bit of a fucking ego, oh sorry I'm swearing again because it makes me angry. If you've got someone with a bit of an ego and they give that signage, do you know what I mean? They're a troublemaker or cause trouble, they can do that for you. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? Because things are very powerful. Remember, you know, if you walk around and you're like, you know, and you do, they're so arrogant, you know what I mean? If you know the signs and you see it, they walk around with arrogance because they know, you know, you go into a pub and you've got 10 Masons in there, you know, they're your friends, they're your brothers, they're going to lose their back teeth protecting you. So you walk in there with big confidence, do you know what I mean? But if you don't have anyone, you're like a sheep walking into there, do you know what I mean? They don't like that. Ooh, you know, so they got all their little mates out, you know. That's what they do. But like I said, be careful of the women, the daughters. They've all got a secret sign. And if you're profane, yeah, you're the one who's going to get out on, you know, the police are called. Even if you're in the wrong, they will lie and put you away. Do you know what I mean? So you be careful. That's what I'm saying. This is why you've got to say, you know, and call it out as it is. Are they Masonic? Is there any Freemasonry involved in this? Yeah, because regardless, even if you're in the right, and I suppose there's few of you listening to this now, you thought, oh, I was in the right there, I should have, do you know what I mean? And you feel, you know, like you've been, you know, done over. Well, yeah, you have been done over, you just got done over by Masonry, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Upon the basis, let's have a look, permanent among the basis, ground upon the real worth, merit, Lord as well served, but you'll have to read some of these yourself, yeah? Like I said, I'm trying to just pick out the, right, now this is a card, right, yeah, that they give to the women, right, and other people, right? So if you're like, again, this is how they look after themselves, right? If you or your dependent would like to receive help or advice on any matter causing you concern, please do not, you know, and this is like advice or help is available on financial difficulties, education, Masonic homes, because they've got them all over the place, problems with the aged, problems with the sick, problems with the loneliness, and that's for the Freemason. They give these to eat the women, the wives, and whatever else, yeah? And they're under full protection of the Freemasons within that lodge. You know what I mean? And we suggest you keep this. It's suggested that if help is not required now, this card should be kept by the member or his spouse with their personal papers. It would then be available for reference should someone's service be required in the future. Do you know what I mean? So that don't matter. That card, once you've got this card, that don't ever end. That welfare and that, you know, that help will be there. Do you know what I mean? Keep this card in a safe place. You may need it. Do you see what I mean? And this is what they do. They preference themselves. They won't teach you. They won't tell you any of this. Do you know what I mean? None of it. You know what I mean? Sharp instrument. What type of it should be used? The elements of the sharp instrument in the first degree should not be the compass. They have far higher symbolic use in the third degree. The instrument in the first degree should be a warlike weapon. And that's what I say, yeah. Because these entered apprentices, yeah, right? And the what they call the fella craft, these are all sending, like when there's a big battle or whatever, send in the peasants, or send in the Irish or the French or whatever, whoever you don't like, the ones who, cannon fodder, who's going to get, these are the people that do it. Do you see what I mean? These are your army, trust me, you know what I mean? Then you got your side degrees, but again, read it yourselves at your own leisure. I'm just showing you what the hell is. 3 points. What is the 3 point? 3 points thus made. Placed between two letters indicate that the term or title abbreviated is the technical word of masonry. Thus, we have G, and I meant to mention this yesterday. Like I said, I forget a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And you see the 3 dots? See what I mean? 33. Okay, remember 33 is an important thing. Like 3 times 3, blah blah, whatever. You know what I mean? 3 times 3 is 9. But I keep forgetting what the bloody numbers are now. But 33 is very important to masonry, and you'll see it. I think something happened today, and I think it was a murder or something, and it was like it was born. The girl or the man who was the offender was 33, born on the 3rd of March, and something to do with 33 again. Do you know what I mean? On the 3rd of March, which is 333. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. Do you know what I mean? They do all these sort of things, and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on here? But if you know it and you see it, you think, and you pick up on it. Like I said, it's just the symbolism. But if you don't know it, you're buggered. Do you know what I mean? Washington George, look, he was a Mason, and it tells you, all the way he went. Again, read it on your own leisure. Do you know what I mean? But again, like I said, this is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, who are the tramping Masons? Now listen to this. This is what they do. This is supposed to be honorary brothers and all this, right? But look, they have these tramping Masons, right? And what they do, they go from each, county or state if you're in the USA, and what they do, like I said, can you remember what I said at the beginning of this, where they drape a hanky over their shoulder and they do a little jig? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, that demotes, and then someone will come over. That means they need money. Yeah. So what these trampy Masons do, they go about from state to state, ripping off other Masons. Yeah. That because they will give money to each other. Like I said, they never poor. You can go out as a Mason with no money and come home with a few £100 a day just by doing what the trampy Masons do. Do you know what I mean? And if you learn the signs, you can get a lot of money. Believe me. You know what I mean? But this is what it's about. They travel from city to city, lodge to lodge, seeking aid by tales of fictitious misfortunes or distress. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But obviously they've closed a few of these doors down. But if you're in a pub and you do that jig and the little dance with a hanky on you will get some money in that. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, it's good money in it. Why not put it to use? I suppose. But like I said, they're morally they wouldn't do that morally, I suppose. But every Mason is honest and true to them, innit? But they do have tramping Masons that do make me laugh, these people. But yeah, that's that. So that these, you just can't make it up. And there it is yesterday, where I said about the Al Sharpman when he was doing the BLM movement. Like I said, he was raised, but can you notice the 3 dots? Look, do you know what I mean? So I meant to mention that yesterday, but I forgot, and I was so up on things. But yeah, that's what that's all about, and you can see it here at the bottom again. Look here, the 3 dots. Yeah, but 33 is very important to Freemasonry. They just make me laugh. I say, but he's, like I said, in his younger day, there he is. But when he spoke at that BLM meeting as looking 55-year-old, everyone's looking at him as a BLM leader of a rally. Do you know what I mean? They're not looking at the masonry behind it, or the manipulation, or whatever he's deemed or been told to do in his lodge. Do you know what I mean? But he's the figurehead of, like I said, that's what they do. They lead everything. Oh yeah, I took it on my phone here. I've got a little scanner I bought, which will help me get some of these things out. Anyway, unworthy members, what is this said of them? We are forced to admit that there are men in the Masonic order whose characteristic and lives reflect no credit upon the institution. Untouched by its sublime moral religious teachings. Well, there you go then. So I can't even, do you know what I mean? But yeah, look it up, you know what I mean, I just get so angry with it, do you know what I mean? Anyway, busybodies, you know what I mean? See, look, how does Masonry ethics deal with busybodies? The principle and tenets of Freemasonry forbid every form of whispering, tale-bearing, meddling and slander. You know what I mean? So why are you gang stalking? Do you know what I mean? Oh dear, never mind. That's another story. Builders, what's the builders applies to Mason? No, that's not, that's right. Again, circumcision, right? Then this again, yeah? See, circumspection, right? Can you remember? I called it circumcision or something like that. But silence and I've bloody been practicing this. I still can't get circumcision, right? Oh, balls. Anyway, every ethical and religious cult requires the spirit and practice of watchfulness, yeah? But this is what they do. They watch you all day, everyone, yeah? And as soon as there's trouble, they run and report to the Tyler, yeah? And they cross the swords, do you know what I mean? That's all, you know, like bloody spiritual blah blah blah, but this is what they do, you know what I mean? You shall be cautious in your words and carriage, that the most penetrating stranger shall not be able to discover or find out what is not proper to be imitated, yeah? And sometimes you shall divert a discourse and manage it prudently for the honour of the worshipful fraternity, do you know what I mean? So they, you know, like I said, if someone say, you know, going to do something, they'll try and persuade them, whether that's by one person to one person or 2 or 3 or 4 person, they'll persuade that person to do totally opposite and do what they want, do you know what I mean? By peer pressure. But it's a lot more technical. I ain't going to go into that today, but yeah, what is the meaning of this word implied? Yeah, they do a hevo, but this is the cleave. I forgot now, but yeah. But anyway, it means separate. I mean, the flesh cleaves from the bone, and that's something to do. And I can't remember. But anyway, again, I'll get into that later. I always sort of come back. You know, I do. Defraud does defraud and dishonesty. Look at this. The ethics. Oh, I forgot to put the bloody picture. This is what I missed it. No more. The ethics of Freemasonry demand honesty and fair dealing with all men, and similar to the Masonic law, rigidly forbids the defrauding of a brother Mason by another Mason. Personal dealings between brother Masons must always be conducted on the highest level of common honesty and brotherly consideration. Nothing about the profane or anyone outside the lodge, but they have to do that together. But I had a load of clip-ins where they were ripping each other off, in fact, ripping off all the bloody funds in the lodge and that, you know. But that's another story. I forgot to put it on here. But like I said, you can search it up yourself how honest they are to each other. Distressed worthy brother. See, again, look at his address. Going to the aid of the distressed worthy brother is a solemn duty of every Mason, enjoined by both the Masonic instruction and the word of God. See, so anyone in trouble, yeah, and if you're profane and you get in the middle of that, you are on a losing end. I'll tell you now, yeah, you will not win. Same as, like, you know, it's like I said, you do a report to the police, you're getting nowhere, because you're reporting a brother and they'll protect anything and everything they can do in their power to shut that down. Do you know what I mean? But that's coming into another video I'll be doing soon. I'll show you something. In what sense does this word appear in Mason? No, it don't matter. But again, read it at your own leisure. You can go read this, all of this. That's in their Bible. The Bible's on my website, www.nazonzazonboni.com. The key to the hidden treasure. What it makes would require faithfulness. Yes, so keep the vows of the order. See, this is what they keep the vows, you see. The faithful servant is one who keeps his vows, who is diligent in his stewardship, dutiful in his master, and loyal in the face of trial and temptation. But you'll see, do you know what I mean? You'll work them out. Right, the letter G, I put that in there just so, you know, you'd sort of see what the G means, you know what I mean? But it's in every lodge, do you know what I mean? It's their god, deity. But again, what I picked up on just reading this, it was Gad or Dag or something, wasn't it? Yeah, look, see, deity, architect and god, Dag. You know what I mean? And I think that was something I picked up in Egypt, or something to do with the pharaohs. Gad or Dag meant dog, or something like that, yeah, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's to do with dog, yeah, and the deity, you know, when you see the dog on top of the Egyptian thingy, that dog, which is I forgot his bloody name now, but that Dag in there, what you can see highlighted, you know, and you can see everything what's important to them is highlighted, if you notice. Look, see what I mean? See it? Lodge, room, yeah, both capital letters. East, do you see what I mean? deity, great architect, but it ain't the great architect of the universe. You see what I'm saying? That they've lowercased the great and the universe. Do you see what I mean? They're not. So is that a hidden meaning in there for Freemasonry? Don't know. You tell me. You know what I mean? Geometry, look, you see what I mean? But see how they're lowercased everything else? See? Apart from that, see, now why ain't they done the universe, you know, grand architect of the universe? You see what I mean? So normally it's, you know, the supreme deity. See, the T, the G, the A, O, T, U, universe, yeah, is normally, you know, like when I first show you, yeah, it's normally capitals all the way. Do you know what I mean? Why ain't it here? I don't get it. You see what I'm saying? This is how they're subtle with their things and what they say. The great architect of the universe. Why the U and the G on a lower, you know, DAG? Is that the dog guy, their dog? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not a bloody thing, and I try not to, but you'll see it again, you know, like I said, you'll see it in a minute. What is the significance attached to the kneeling masonry? Well, bending the law when you're a police, I mean, sorry, when they're policemen, no, I mean, bending the knee, they did a big ritual on that. I'll get into that, which is the mass rituals they do, yeah, where they get people to bend the knee. But what it is, right, yeah, stand posh and symbolic reference towards God and faithful in the erection of certain ceremonies, which posture of bowing on one knee is required. Kneeling in prayers of God knows sovereignty as an act of obeisance, yeah, so they're getting obeisance when you kneel. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, Masons from the profane world, which swings them from all other men, and the signs and symbols with which a Mason is designated or may make himself known as the son of the light, yeah, are symbolized in the term landmarks. There are 25 universally recognized landmarks in Masonry. There are elsewhere listed in this Masonic features. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think I got the other part of it. Sorry, but just see what I'm saying. Look, Masons from the. So I think that says, I can't remember what it said at the bottom now. I don't think I got it, but. Again, everything's from the Masons from the profane world. You see what I mean? They're not from our world. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. You know, you're in that. You know, they're in the lodge. They're in the temple. We ain't. We're outside the temple. We're peasants. Do you know what I mean? We're the hated profane. Yeah. Because we've got no life skills. We've got no brothers. You know what I mean? We're nothing. They live in a brilliant, you know, they have good meals, good food. They'll come across, oh, we don't, you know, but it ain't. You show me a homeless or a poor Freemason anywhere, ain't going to happen. Anyway, like I said, Masons from the profane world, you know what I mean, which distinguish them from all other men and women, of course. And there's signs and symbols all the time, do you see what I mean? And that distinguish them away from you, yeah? Now, again, I'm going to show you the same thing, yeah? The level, right? Look, watch. Again, I'm just trying to look, climate, look. But some men, by discipline, training, and the proper use of the endowments of nature, because they learn, you know, obviously all the fire, wind, all that sort of stuff, nature, climb above the common level, while others, which is us, the profane, by the reverse use of life, sink below the common level of their inheritance. Do you see what I mean? So you get those that go above the level, which is where they go, and we're all below the level. Do you see what I mean? So it's just distinguishing, whatever that bloody word is. I don't know what the word is. Distinction or distinguishing or whatever the bloody word is between us. They're the higher, we're the lower. Do you know what I mean? We're the rough profane. They're the smooth ashlers. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Numbers. Are these numbers in? Go and see me. Yeah, slightly by rows. So yeah, these are their sacred numbers. Like I said, there's 33. See, so the numbers are 3, 5, 7, 9, 27, and 81. Yeah, the 81 obviously makes 9. Yeah, 27. What is it? 2 and 7. What does that make? 9. Then there's 9. Just see what I mean? Yeah. So the numbers work like that. Just see what I mean? All right. 5 and 3, 9. I'll just make that anyway. But yeah, that's their secret numbers anyway, and they got their, obviously they have their magic number boards and things like that. Yeah, so that's the numbers to look after, you know what I mean? And like I said, 33 is, you know, the one thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, everything here, let's strength, light. Yeah, now, what's the secret of the main? the world of Royal Archmage refers to sit on in Egypt. Now always go back to Egypt. Do you see what I mean? Or the Egyptians. Do you know what I mean? Hebrews and all that malarkey. Do you know what I mean? But you got to, once you start learning it, you're in. See the 5 points of fellowship, right? The 5 points of fellowship is toe to toe, knee to knee, shoulder to shoulder, hand on back, and mouth to ear. Do you know what I mean? Where you give them the password. Do you know what I mean? That's not shibboleth. That's Mahabon, Rabboni. No, wait a minute. Mahabon, I think. Yeah, no, or is it Jabulon? But yeah, anyway, some pass, you know what I mean? That's the 5 fellowships, do you know what I mean? That's what that's about. And that's about brotherly love, do you know what I mean? Aid to the needy brother, but not an aid to the needy profane person. You know what I mean? Prince of Jerusalem, I don't know. Read it yourself. Like I said, I'm trying to just pick out these bits. Here's Rabboni, look, my master, yeah? So there is a password. They use Rabboni, yeah, in their which is my master. So that, again, it's a handshake and blah, blah. And you've got to know what you're doing anyway before you can go there. But again, that's what that is. Rabboni, my master. Raised is like a soldier the other day. They were, when I said about the rainbows, yeah? Raise a rainbow. Do you see what I mean? And that's for the the Eastern Star and the Rainbow Girls and all that. Do you know what I mean? So when you start sticking again these rainbows all in your windows and they're putting them all over the town and that's actually the same as the symbolic mass ritual of the bees in Manchester. Do you see what I mean? But they're getting the whole bloody planet to do it, if you know what I mean. And that's what it's about, you see. So that's what and like I said, just when you research it and you know what it's doing. Like I said, the same as like bend the law. I mean, they don't bend the law, do they? They actually look at it. It's like bend the knee again. It's all about subversive to them or whatever. So they're more than likely, and I mean this. You know what I mean? Like I said, the lodge from the top feeds the lodges down at the bottom. Yeah. Or the lodges from the bottom, obviously the orders come down, but the lodges at the bottom are the spies and whatever, and they tell what's going on, do you know what I mean? And they stop people getting anywhere in life, do you know what I mean? And they stop you, because if you're a threat to anything and not their way of thinking, they'll stop you, do you know what I mean? And put you down. You won't get the job, you'll be, this, that and the other. I can't go into all that, do me anything. But you got the right hand and, what they offer, obviously, in their handshakes, but again, read it. I'm just skipping through this. I'm just trying to find secrecy and silence again. Yeah, again, read it. The secrecy and silence is all about keeping the secrets from you. You know what I mean? Keeping silent, but they're watching you and everything you do. Believe me. You know what I mean? I think that'll do. Skip on to that one. I'm trying to keep this. I forgot what time I started. This is another laugh. Look at this. Is Freemasonry a secret society? Now watch this. Look, in its correct sense, a secret society is an association of men, or both men and women, in which certain methods of initiations, ideologies, doctrines, practices, means of recognition for one another, yeah, and purposes are made available only to those who pass through certain forms of initiation and make solemn pledges not to reveal anything, whatever of the sort. I know what's coming. In a society of this kind, complete secrecy of in the name of its members of the place and times of meeting, such a society are treasonable, felonious and criminal in character and objectives, right? Such societies are usually treasonable, felonious and criminal in character and objectives. Freemasonry is not a secret society, here we go, in a sense. It does not seek to conceal its existence and its objects, right? What's this? The names, now this is important, remember this, the names of its members may be known to all who are interested, right? So if you want to know whose names who's in the Masonic Lodge, they will tell you, right? In fact, most Masons wear jewellery of identification, are prayed to be known as Masons. Well, I've never seen one on the street, okay? That's always in the lodge, yeah? They don't wear their jewels out of the lodge. They wear their pins, identify them, like, blah, blah. But they don't wear their jewels out the lodge. And not all the jewels can move a bell anyway. I think it's 3 are movable, blah, blah, whatever. But yeah, so anyway, just remember that, yeah? The names of its members may be known to all who are interested. Now go to your lodge tomorrow and find out if you can get one name out of them. Anyway, Freemasonry be regarded as a secret society only in the respect of its rituals, some of its legends and symbols. It may be, I know what's coming. The ethical, blah, blah. You just read that anyway. I can't go on to that anymore. And then you've got the 7 stars, yeah? East to west, right? And here we go. Get ready. We're back to this fella again. Look, in Norfolk, England, a Labour group walked out of the county council meeting en masse. This walkout was by all the Masons because they wanted to know whether they were Freemasons or not. But in this bit, everyone can know who a Mason is, but you try getting it, and this isn't the only news about them revealing themselves to the public. They don't. Do you see what I mean? So well, everything they write is crap, really, isn't it? But yeah, so there you go. Unreal, isn't it? Slanderous, malicious. What attitude is taken by freedom towards this vile evil, right? So if that's vile evil, right? Yeah, and I've got loads of scripts where they're spieling this stuff out. It is declared with the tenant free that to defame our brother or suffer him to be famed without interesting our souls for the preservation of his name and character, there is not the shadow of excuse to be formed. Defamation is always wicked. Slander and evil speaking are the pests of civil society. Do you get that? Yeah? So they don't slander each other. They keep each other, they do not defame each other. They always, boost each other up. Never got a bad word for each other. Ever, ever. But look, defamation is always wicked. Slander and evil speaking are the pests of civil society, yeah? The profane society, yeah? Are a disgrace of every degree of religious profession and are the poisonous bane of all brotherly love. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? That's how they think of you. Signet, I don't know what this is. What did I do here? The signet ring. I forget something I wanted to say about the signet ring. Oh yeah, they have poisonous rings as well when they used to poison people. Social institution, there's always here's the art of it. Receive, I don't know. Solomon, again, just have a look. I think that's something to do, with the way they think about us profane. You know what I mean? But I can't remember. Sorry. So we'll move on. I can't think what it was. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Untempted mortar, yeah, that's what we are, yeah. You know what I mean? Have a look. I'll let you have a quick look. I'm not going to keep reading everything out. There you go. And again. Oh, war, that's right. I was letting you read that, but I'm going to read this. Freemasons is national, but the political course of a Mason, just read that anyway, yeah? Like I said, again, remember, they've got a grand hailing sign, so if they're in battle, do you know what I mean? Like, again, even in war, it tells you, yeah? Country always how you should serve faithfully in case my laws state if war should be ever support the honour and defend where is it freedom just Mason should make a good service. He fights of course, but like every other patriotic side for victory, but even so the benign principle of Mason extend their influences and divest the battle of many in its horrors as far as conduct is. When the victory is won, the conquered foe is still his brother. See, but the Mason is still his brother even during war. Now, like I said, if they were like prisoners, they'd give him extra rations, do you see what I mean, to look after the brother. They're obliged to, but they wouldn't treat him as a prisoner of war. The profane will get treated like a prisoner of war. Bread and water, but he'll get a bit of a stake into him and things like that. He'll get called to the commandant's hut and he'll get a slap up meal, things like that, because they'll try and keep him alive, do you know what I mean? Because he's not the profane people that in the war, do you know what I mean? Like I said, they get preferences on both sides of the war, do you know what I mean? And if you ain't sure about that, just look up the American Civil War and what the Freemasons were doing in that war, do you know what I mean? On both sides, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they'll go, we all our brothers fell in the war and all this crap. That's a load of shite. People used to shoot above each other's heads and things. Yeah, people did lose their lives, of course they did, do you know what I mean? But no brother killed any other brother, I'll tell you that, you know what I mean? Right, here we go. See, it's always like, its principle and dogmas teach love and fraternity among men, among Freemasons, not up against the profane, yeah? Now, vouching for a visiting brother, yeah? Now, this is why you'll never get into a lodge, yeah? Because when they vouch for you, yeah, you've got your own passport, you've got documents and blah, 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 yeah? But this, they will strict trial do examination. That means you have to put the lodge, whatever furniture's in the lodge, the tools, the jewels, everything has to be in a perfect place, and they learn you this over the years. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, it's like anything. As you keep on doing it and doing it, you learn it, and it becomes second nature. Same as all their words and their passwords. Do you know what I mean? They're learning it constant. Same as they know, when they see the signs and the thing, yeah. And like I said, when you see someone does it, like the triangle or the one eye, that's universally known. Do you know what I mean? It is now, isn't it? Obviously, but this is what they do. And lawful information. That means they have to give them the full ritual. Do you know what I mean? And even when they're vouched for, they ring up the lodge where they're supposed to be from, and they'll get vouchers from that as well. Do you know what I mean? So it ain't like just you can walk in and it's there, because it ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? But that's what they do, fully cert, and I mean a strict, you ain't getting into a lodge meeting. Anyway, once you're awake, it's really hard to go back to sheep, girls and boys. It really is. And I think that ends the video. I hope I didn't took too long. That last one was 3 hours. I was like, blank hell. I still ain't finished that. I'm going to get that upload. I've got one more to do on that. But I just thought I'd get a nice little ritual in and some of the information on how they think you profane live and that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I've got one other thing from the other side. This, like I said, gets them a forum. You can read a lot more on the rituals. What are, within the forum. Like riding the goat, the hazing chamber of reflection, hazing for a black eye. When they get black eyes. This is what they do. These are the games they play. Do you know what I mean? Like smack in the eye there. Look, I'll just go through a quick moral ethics. You know what I mean? Blindfold them, tie them together, but the referee is actually smacking them, and they think these are the games they play. Do you know what I mean? He's got a black eye there. See him dancing with his girl, and he's got a black eye. Look, that's why he's got the covering on his eye. That's shrine, that is. Or they have an electrified floor. Do you know what I mean? And there's only one bit there in the middle, which is no man's land, and that's unelectrified. Do you know what I mean? See, look, that's why they all got black eyes. Do you know what I mean? But I ain't going to go into that. You know what I mean? That's just another story. That's a nice little tail-end finish, I suppose. You see what I mean? That's why they're all ending up with black eyes. Do you know what I mean? Coincidence or what? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, you can come here and have a look. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's one. Don't worry. That's why he gets away with everything. You know what I mean? Like, I think he got a real beating out of his bloody, But anyway, they're all got it. And I hope you've enjoyed today. But like I say, come over to the forum, have a good butch back there. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to go through this. I'm on MeWe now, which is Stuart. Right? Macintosh 1. Okay? This is me here. I've not got much. I've got a couple of videos up. Do you know what I mean? The ones I've done here. So you can actually pick them up a bit better. I want you to pick up this guy. Can you remember the Order of the Octagon?
This is the sign of the Templars. You can see it in any tank in America, the American tanks, like in Iraq, even the Israelis, they have it upside down, and behind it is the Templars cross. And
see, and I'm just going to skip through this. He takes you through and he shows you where the pharaohs are. When I go about Egypt,
that's the Hebrew part. There's a quick
show you. Watch this video. Very, very good video. Watch
they put people in prehistoric
this
period.
guy
They
is
call
really,
it,
really good.
Jurassic
He's the best
period.
of the best. You know what I mean?
And the name Jurassic Park.
And he also does this. You got to go to the octagon. Yeah. Remember I said about things turning into swastika. He gives you how. He'll show you how it all goes. Yeah. Right.
And the Templars founded Switzerland.
Right. And he'll show you where the pyramid goes to. I'm just giving you a quick. Come and watch him yourself. Yeah. He's a brilliant dude. Yeah. Look, you see there. Look, they show you how it goes, how the signage goes. Do you know what I mean? Very good video. You know what I mean? That gets foreign here, yeah. I mean, the dude here, he speaks foreign. But if you go past that, he then tells you what the fella tells you. Do you know what I mean? But this is the octagon, yeah. This is the octagon. See, look, they're deleting his videos. He's a brilliant dude, yeah. You know what I mean? So get into him. You know what I mean? Look him up. I forgot his bloody name. What's his name? Klaus Osh, and the other dude was what was his name? Oh no, this isn't the dude. Oh, I should have given it to you on the other one. Yeah, but he is in. Search him up. I think he's something like CIA. Oh no, yeah. Go to this one. This is him. I think. Yeah, Shazvaz. Yeah, look him up. Very good. But again, look, this is how the swastika
scattered all over the world, working
all over the world.
Secret services.
Secret services, and he shows you.
Templars built.
See, look, right? what I said about the
Top of
swastika, you
Hitler's
see.
Nazis were all Nazi
He
Templars
shows you,
from
yeah, he
Oxford
shows you the
and dropped
sign, yeah.
bombs on millions of white European children's rooms.
See, he'll show you
David
and he'll
Holbrook.
connect the dots for you. Yeah,
Angels,
where
Pharaoh,
Switzerland
Shadow.
never got involved in the war, did they? Because that's where all the pharaohs are, yeah.
The age of 50.
Read him. Get his
So,
video, pick up
why
on him,
does it
yeah. I
matter?
hope that helped anyway. I mean, I just thought I'd show you that. Get in there. He'll tell you who the Octagon is, yeah, in Switzerland, yeah. Brilliant watch. Just watch him, mate. It's the best, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Look, it's all Switzerland stuff. Look at it. Ku Klux Klan from Switzerland, Racism, Heartbeat. You know, all the wars and that. He tells you all about it. You know what I mean? And obviously, he does a better job than I do. I just stutter my way through. But yeah, that's great. I mean, you know, thanks to everyone who's followed and, you know, got in you know, who follows me and likes my videos. That's really appreciated. I'd rather you, rather than like and all that, I'd rather you share my videos. You know what I mean? You don't have to join up. I'd rather you join someone who's a bit more, you know what I mean? Instead of keep joining all these different groups, stick with one group and then try and get the other groups to converge. You know what I mean? They're all holding out and they're going, oh, stick with my group, stick with my group. But remember, some of them groups are led and are being led by Freemasons, okay? Because the more people they can diverse and keep away from people getting a big group, do you see what I mean? You're separated, you're divided. So remember that, yeah? And pass that word to other people as well. Just try, you know, as soon as you start posting naughty things like about Freemasonry on like an anti-Freemasons forum, you know, or whatever, not club, whatever they're called, group, yeah, you'll soon find out who is a Freemason, who's running it. Do you know what I mean? Because I've had posts disappear, you just get banned straight away, do you know what I mean? And then you just mark them off on your shit list, do you know what I mean? Sorry to swear, but that's what it's about, do you know what I mean? So just be careful of the people you're following, do you know what I mean? You may be in that group and that might seem anti-Mason, blah, blah, whatever, but it ain't, trust me. You know I am. Well, I'm the best Mason you'll ever meet. I'll tell you that for nothing, wouldn't you, brothers? I'm a royal blood, I am. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, some of them groups, remember, they're made up by Masons and they're paid for it. Remember, and they're paid well, right? And they're paid to keep you lot occupied, fighting over each other and joining different, keeping you separated, yeah, divided and separated. So get joining up, yeah. You know what I mean? That's what you need to do. All be on board on something. Do you know what I mean? Because being divided on all these other groups, absolute madness. And like I said, half the groups that are made up are actually made up by Freemasons and the bloody enemy. You know what I mean? They're controlling all the information. Anyway, have a great day, guys.